Umar Johnson returns to the Breakfast Club with another ridiculous interview, and we gotta talk about it. Coming up next on episode number 72 of Up to Speed with Tripp Simpson. Stay tuned.
I'd rather get it out the mud than get it for free. I'd rather settle it up front than run and retreat. I son these niggas just for fun, no need for caprice. And if you tell me that I'm done, you must think I'm deceased. With every breath I take, I'm taking it further. Fuck the word a couple times and deserter. Killing niggas off with every word, I'm talking first degree murder. Just sit back, relax, be the observer. See niggas really want me out of line, I'm seeing the signs. Every time I speak what's on my mind, I'm reaching divine. No, I need my mental realign, so I'm taking my time. But I can't let these people just define what they don't understand. I'm a real nigga, it's deep in my veins. And if you cut me open right now, you'd understand the reason I speak with the pain. I know a lot of people seek my defeat and it's strange, cause they gon' be the real reason I peak with the fame. All these opinions from people who never made it, I truly would rather speak with the greatest. I'm talking Drake, Cole, and Lil Wayne. Man, I know I ain't famous, but I'ma make them seek me out when they play this. The name is King Art, reppin' that Southeast. Niggas always doubt me, but I keep it real. Other niggas hella mouthy. Pillow talking niggas always saying shit about me. Every time we bring it up, the conversation get cloudy, so I learn to move different. I never ask for permission, only forgiveness from the people who would choose to listen. A lot of niggas turn they back, I guess they mood switching. I tried to hold it all in, but man, it's too tempting. Listen, we don't compare, I thought you knew different. I thought you knew better than this, I guess you fools slipping. See, jealousy gon' take control and have you tomb digging. And we gon' leave you in that bowl like the spoon missing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Up to Speed with Tripp Simpson. Of course, I am your host, Tripp Simpson, in the building. Oh.
The first of his name, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms and Protector of the Realm.
That's right. And before we get this live stream started tonight, first and foremost, you know we got to handle business. Let's get it.
Family moving up in the business. I know you're going to look after family.
What family you talking about, Ice?
Fuck, I look invisible, nigga.
Right, I'm not invisible, so if you're watching live on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for me. If you're watching live on X, hit that heart button and hit that retweet button for me. Also, if you're watching live on Facebook, hit that like button, hit that share button, and no matter what platform you're watching on, don't forget to comment in the live chat below. Help us get this video off into the algorithm. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, we're gonna have to double back and talk some more Umar Johnson. Now, recently, Dr. Umar Johnson sat down with Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, and Just Hilarious at the Breakfast Club to discuss a variety of issues that's circulating throughout black culture and American culture in general. Now, I watched the entire video, and per usual, I pretty much disagree with almost everything Umar Johnson had to say. And to be quite honest, it's becoming more evidently clear to me every time I see this Negro talk that he's either got to be completely out of his mind or he's a Marxist plant. Either way, black folks won't get anywhere taking anything this man has to say seriously. Now look at the live stream we just did the other day. Umar Johnson's sole purpose is to gaslight black folks into sending him money so that he can, quote unquote, save your children from the big bad white man through his imaginary school. Now, this man clearly has no plan to ever open that school. He's got no teachers. He's got no administration. He's got no students. He's got no custodians. He's got no lunch ladies, and he's got no curriculum. All he's got is that raggedy ass building, an iPhone 12, Instagram Live, and Cash App. Oh, and your also generous donations. That's all he's got. That's all he's got. But yet and still, he's got the goddamn nerve to be calling everyone else out and telling them what they need to be doing with their money and how they need to be sacrificing their money to save the black community. Now, let me tell you niggas something, man. Let me tell you niggas something. And listen to me clearly. The black community is a lost cause. Donating your money to causes that claim to help out black people is literally like throwing your money out the window. As a matter of fact, I'd rather throw my money out the window. At least I can see where it's going. I'd rather go make it rain at a hole in the wall strip club than donate to a black cause in 2024. It's the truth. Remember Black Lives Matter? Black Lives Matter collected over $100 million in less than a year, rallying for a dope fiend, and none of that money even touched the black community. At this point, I think Umar Johnson has collected millions of dollars from you Negroes, and all he has given you in return for your kind-hearted donations is excuses. Now, the latest excuse being that since he had a hunch that the white man is getting ready to crack down on black folks, he needs time to grow crops at the school so that he can have a food bank readily available for the community when the school starts. So unfortunately, he's going to need another year before he can open up the school.
Take the weed and leave the money now.
Take the wall and left the wall.
I mean, he literally said this out of his own mouth on Instagram Live. And we went over the video the other day. But back to the topic at hand. Umar was on the Breakfast Club, and I gotta hand it to him. He's good at stirring the pot. Now, as I said, most of the shit he was saying in this interview, I disagree with. However, when he discussed the whole Trump black job situation, he made some sense. Okay? So, without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and get to that video and check that out. Let's get it. All right.
Whenever you talk about what the black activists in Chicago are going through, or whenever you talk about what black people here in New York are complaining about, they'll say, that's MAGA messaging. How is it MAGA messaging?
It's not MAGA messaging. Listen, the bottom line is when Joe Biden got elected, he said he wanted to fast track 4 million undocumented residents to full citizenship. Black people completely ignored it. I spoke on it. I said, do you know why he want to fast track 4 million? Because he know he's not going to do nothing for us. We ain't going to be motivated to vote for him November. So what he's going to do is have these migrants already set up with citizenship so they can replace the black vote that he loses. The migrants are being put in our communities on purpose, New York and Chicago on purpose, because they are what? The two blackest cities in America. They're the two largest cities in America. They're the two most politically conscious black communities in America. So if we can wash out the black with the brown in New York, if we can wash out the black with the brown in Chicago, Philly don't stand a chance. Atlanta don't stand a chance. LA, Houston, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago don't stand a chance. The migrants are here for 3 reasons. Replace us at the polls, replace us at the low-end industry jobs, right? See, when Donald Trump said during the debate that Joe Biden is taking black jobs and giving them to migrants, he was correct. Although he didn't say it because he cared about us, but he's right. When people say, what do you mean by black jobs? Get out your bougie feelings and deal with the reality. 1/3 of black men have a felony. So there's a lot of jobs they will never qualify for. They are mostly what? Essential workers, warehouse, trucking, security. And a lot of those jobs are going to who? The migrants. So that's what he meant by black jobs. We got to stop being so sensitive and look at the reality of it. I was reading a report the other day. They said the Latinos taking over the construction jobs. They taking them over. And the low industry work, like your gardening, your landscaping, completely taking it over.
All right, so there we have it. A broken clock is definitely right twice a day. Umar Umar's theory on the Biden and the Democrats' plan to replace the black vote with immigrants is 100% correct. It's so crazy because they got a lot of you Negroes out here fighting for voting rights as if you niggas haven't had the right since 1870. You haven't had the right to vote since 1870. And you niggas are still out here looking stupid, marching with the Democrats under false pretenses that that the Republicans have done away with or are trying to do away with your right to vote. See, in actuality, you're fighting for your right to be replaced. If the Democrats get their way and are able to pass a voting rights act, if they get their way and they're able to pass a voting rights act, that is the end of the only leverage that the black community ever had politically. It's the end. But you Negroes are too short-sighted and emotional to see the bigger picture. See, as we speak, the Republicans are actually trying to pass a voting act that will be to your benefit. The bill will require states to obtain, proof of citizenship for each person in person trying to register to vote. So basically, when requesting to vote, you have to come with a valid state ID or some type of proof that you're an actual U.S. citizen. And guess what? Only 5 Democrats in the entire House of Representatives voted in favor of it. A total of 198 Democrat congressmen and women voted against this. These people are willing to let illegal aliens from God knows where, with no right to benefit from the country that your ancestors helped build, come in and wash out your vote just like that. And why? Just so they can stay in power for 4 more years. And of course, the Democrats' argument is that it's a racist bill because it's designed to jam people up at the polls. Jam them up how? All you need is your goddamn ID. Now, if you don't have an ID, you don't deserve to vote. I mean, literally, that's what their argument is. That's what their argument is. It's that blacks historically don't have their shit together. So requiring documentation at the polls would disenfranchise them.
Blood clot.
Y'all gotta wake up. Y'all gotta wake up. But yeah, Umar was correct in his assessment of the black jobs in the immigrant situation. All right? He was correct. So in this particular section, I'm gonna give Umar a pass. Like I said, broken clock, right twice a day. So on to the next clip. I want to play this clip of Charlemagne asking Umar Johnson what he thought about Columbus Short. That's actor Columbus Short. He made some comments on why black men are dating outside their race. All right, now check this out. Give me a second. Let me get to that. All right, boom. Here we go.
Man, I want to ask you something Columbus Short said since we talking about that. Sure. He said he got some heat for saying that black men are dating outside their race because most black women are raised by single mothers and absentee fathers and taught a don't need a man mentality. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, here's what I would say to my brother Columbus Short, and I'm a fan of his. Are we not all victims of the systemic oppression and injustice that racism has introduced into our community? So just as you have black women who didn't grow up with their father, you have black men who didn't grow up with their fathers or their mothers. In other words, why is it acceptable for the black man raised by a black woman without his dad to reject a black woman raised by her mother without her dad? I think sometimes black men can be guilty of a double standard where we want a perfect.
All right, let me stop him right there. And this is another thing Umar does that I cannot stand. He's a super panderer when it comes to the strong, independent queens. He's a super panderer. Black men. You don't have to put yourself through dealing with some woman with daddy issues just because Umar Johnson wants you to save the black community. black women. You don't have to suffer dealing with a nigga with daddy issues or mommy issues or whatever either. If you've done the work on yourself and you feel as though that's not the route you want to go, and by route, I mean dealing with an emotionally unstable person who had the unfortunate circumstance of being raised solely by a single mother, you don't have to. It's not your responsibility. See, a lot of these chicks coming out of these homes have real issues that you can't solve, fellas. So if you got to go to another ethnicity to find what you want, do what you got to do. You won't hear no complaints from me. Let's get it.
Offering when we ourselves are not a perfect offering. And to that point, I think black men need to recognize the fact that one of the reasons we have so much conflict with black women is because we don't operate on a masculine platform with our women all the time. We tend to operate on a female platform. For example, when a woman gets angry, rather than you trying to understand your queen non-emotionally. See, you can't have both people in a relationship with a low emotional IQ. Because if both people in a home, if you and your wife both have a low emotional IQ, if you and your wife both have a low emotional IQ, y'all gonna argue over everything because nobody says, I am not going to emote over this. I'm not going to deal with this with feelings. I'm going to use reason and intelligence. That's what the man is supposed to do. But
all right, we're gonna stop him right there. So let me get this straight. So we are supposed to just sit there while this woman is spazzing on us. And we're supposed to just sit there while this woman is spazzing, and we're supposed to deal with this type of shit every day? See, he's talking crazy. First off, don't even deal with a woman who can't keep her emotions in check, so you won't find yourself in these type of situations in the first place. Don't even deal with them. Honestly, if you're going to be in a relationship with a black woman, the first thing you need to do is investigate and verify as to what her relationship is like with her father. Preferably a woman who lived with their dad full time. However, if it's a healthy, loving, and normal father-daughter relationship, odds are her mindset is going to match that when dealing with you. She'll match that. Odds are. Now, you got some crazy chicks that's just crazy, period. Can't help that. But if you're playing the odds, a woman with a great relationship with her father, and especially a woman with a great relationship with her father who grew up in that house full time with him, she's going to be your best option. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. But see, Umar ain't gonna tell you that because his donation base is all single black baby mamas.
It's what we do. Raised by single mothers, many of us, we reflect right back to them that emotional trauma that they throwing on us. So in essence, you have two females arguing, although one is in a man's body. Black men have to start being masculine and less feminine. All this cattiness, this back and forth between black men and black women on the internet, that is feminine and feminine. Masculinity don't operate like that. Masculinity wants to understand where the woman is coming from. Masculinity wants to then intervene, study himself, evaluate his behavior, and try to level up to where she needs him to be. But arguing back and forth with women as a man, that's anti-masculine behavior. What we really need is some testosterone shots. We need more testosterone because black men are mimicking female behavior emotionally, and they're not even recognizing it.
And I want to ask,
now, real quick, before we continue, if you're watching live on YouTube, hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. But first and foremost, hit that like button. Also, if you want to give your opinion for right now, you can put your opinion in the live chat below, or you can wait till the end of the show and we'll be taking calls. I'll put the link in the live chat and I'll pin it to the top. But back to the topic. You know what's so hilarious to me about Umar Johnson? You know what's so hilarious to me about Umar? The fact that this man can sit up here and try to tell black men how they should treat black women and how we should stop acting like females and just deal with their emotional outbursts. But meanwhile, he's literally turned two black queens into baby mamas. He's put babies into two different queens and didn't make a wife out of either one of them. And I think he may even be on the run from child support, if I'm not mistaken. But this nigga's gonna tell us who and how we should date.
Blood clot.
He's unqualified, bro. He's unqualified. But anyways, we're gonna go to the next clip. The next clip is gonna be Umar Johnson speaking about black folks who support former President Donald Trump. All right. All right, let's get to that. Let's get it.
Blacks loving Donald Trump so much.
Slave master syndrome, white Jesus syndrome. We don't care if the white Jesus wears red or blue.
All right, gotta stop him right there off the break. Gotta stop him right there. White Jesus syndrome. White Jesus syndrome. I'm telling y'all, man, this nigga just be talking out his ass. Honestly, I think it's intellectually dishonest to paint people with such a broad brush. Does it ever occur to Dr. Umar Johnson that maybe, just maybe, some of us have done our research and weighed things out logically to come to a sound conclusion on who we choose to vote for? And this is why I stopped looking at every aspect of society through the lens of simply being black, because when you do that, you tend to get trapped. You get trapped in this echo chamber of delusion where the whole world is out to get you. You start thinking that every goddamn political event that happens home or abroad is about white supremacy and the destruction of black people. When in all actuality, nothing could be further from the truth. See, we mistake us being pawns in a power struggle, and when I say power struggle, I'm talking about between Marxists and capitalists. We mistake that as white supremacy. We mistake that as white supremacy, dead set on destroying all black people. When in most cases it's not. If these people really wanted to wipe us off the U.S. map, they could have done it a long time ago. All right? They didn't need to bait us in and keep giving you niggas free welfare for years and years and years if they wanted to wipe you out. Now, one could argue that the welfare system is technically wiping us out, and I would entertain that argument because to some degree, yes, I believe that. But no one's putting a gun to your head and telling you to take welfare. So that's a whole different conversation. But back to the topic. At this point, I'm a hard-working civil servant, business owner, taxpayer, and parent of 4 children. So my vote is going to go to the candidate who best serves the best interests of this country as a whole. In my opinion, that candidate is Donald Trump. Has nothing to do with white Jesus, white Muhammad, Moses, Buddha, or any of that shit. Has nothing to do with any type of complex. Like when I compare Joe Biden to Donald Trump, and when I compare Trump to most of these politicians, I like Trump's policies better, period. End of discussion.
Care what side of the aisle that they're on. Black America suffers from battered spouse syndrome envy. And what battered spouse syndrome speaks to is the fact that no matter how bad you beat me up, if I believe I need you in order to survive, I'm never going anywhere. And part of our problem, part of the equation to our problem as American Africans, why we don't do anything on our own, is we are often waiting for the great white savior to come. This is a message that has been rehearsed for us in church. We get it in the media. We get it in the black community. So black people will never, ever abandon their hope of a white savior coming to save them. Donald Trump has no record whatsoever of saving black folks. When people ask me, who you going to vote for? At this point, neither one of them are going to get my vote. I considered Cornel West because I love...
All right, let's stop right there because that's a contradiction. That's a super contradiction. Now, he just criticized us for wanting a white savior. then basically criticizes both candidates for not being a white savior, right? So here's the thing. We don't need a savior. We need a stable economy, less crime, and a better quality of life for the middle class. Anyone operating in a society where those things are prioritized has more than enough opportunity to save themselves. See, we can't keep asking politicians to fix the black community when we aren't willing to do our end of the deal. Trump or Biden, hypothetically, let's just say, they could fix America's problems tomorrow, right? Black folks would still be at the bottom because our culture isn't conducive to success. We glorify crime, degeneracy, and single mothers. As a matter of fact, it's considered a knock against your blackness, depending on who you talk to, if you grew up in a two-parent household. It's considered a knock against your blackness if you correctly speak the English language. So until some of these issues are at least frowned upon again in black society, nothing's gonna work. Hence, that's why I'm more focused on the direction of what's best for America as opposed to what's best solely for black folks. Because at the end of the day, if we don't look in the mirror and make the change ourselves, it's going to be a waste of resources. You can dump all the money in the world in the black community. Look at Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. has thousands of programs for black youth. They don't even use them. They don't use them. They're still outside. They're still robbing stores. They're still carjacking. They're still robbing people, and they're still shooting each other up. There's plenty of basketball courts, plenty of recreation centers, plenty of grant money going around for programs. If you were a disenfranchised black youth, Washington, D.C. is one of the greatest places you could ever be. It's one of the greatest places because there's nothing but programs here for you. But niggas don't use them. Well, some people do. That's unfair to say niggas don't use them. What I'm saying, though, it's not making a dent in crime. It's not putting a dent in homelessness.
Dr. West, intelligent, strong, good-natured, but he's a bunny hopper, so he can't get my vote. Now, when I come back to Donald Trump and Joe Biden, I look at the fact that Donald Trump signed 13 federal death executions while he was president. More than half of them was signed after Joe Biden won the election. Think about that now. Biden gets elected in November, sworn in January. Between that time, Donald Trump executes half of those 13 people. 5 of them were black men, and 2 of those black men were presumed innocent, and their attorneys had introduced a stay of execution to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court turned them down, and Donald Trump executed those brothers. So when I hear black men say, I'm voting for Donald Trump because he's going to bring more money and economic vitality into the black community.
Hold on real quick. We here for it. He says, bro, you sound stupid. Okay, I sound stupid. How do I sound stupid? What point that I just made do you disagree with? And also, I'll give you an opportunity to call in. I'll be done with these Umar clips in about maybe 10, 15 minutes. So if you want to call in, I'll leave the link. Or you can explain how I sound stupid in the chat below, and I'll be happy to prove you wrong. I'll be happy to prove you wrong. All right, let's continue.
What about the fact that he's out here killing black folks, you understand, without no remorse at all? So,
all right, let me stop right there. Now, do y'all hear this stupidity? Do y'all hear this stupidity? So because a couple criminals got what's coming to them, and let's get this straight. To be on death row, you'd have to have done some diabolical shit. So because 5 diabolical niggers was put to death, 5 out of 40 million, we are supposed to forego a better economy and a better place to raise our children so we can be in solidarity with them. Make this shit make sense. Let's go back real quick. Let's go back. I want to make sure I heard this correctly.
Trump, because he's going to bring more money and economic vitality. So when I hear black men say, I'm voting for Donald Trump because he's going to bring more money and economic vitality into the black community, I say, what about the fact that he's out here killing black folks?
So once again, he said it himself. So we're not supposed to want to vote for Trump for the mere fact that we think he's going to bring more a better economy and more vitality for the community. We're supposed to forego all that so to be in solidarity with some niggas that's on death row. This is stupid. This is stupid. And yeah, this nigga's a moron. Police brutality, believe it or not, is a very, very minor issue in the black community in the grand scheme of things. Police brutality, criminal justice, all this shit that they want us to side with. They want us to forget about policy for are very minor things as opposed to our socioeconomic status, which is our biggest problem. But let's let this play out. Let's let this play out, and then we'll talk more about it.
You understand? Without no remorse at all. So you got to look at that. You also got to look at the fact that Donald Trump wants to give police 100% immunity.
That's right.
Wait a minute. Look how they killing us now.
Right.
So now you're telling me anything the police do.
Real quick, and we here for it. I'll send it as soon as I'm done with the Umar clips. I'll send it. So stay tuned. We can definitely have that conversation.
In their line of duty, they cannot be held accountable for making bad mistakes and bad decisions. And you want to put that back in office? That's thirsty black men worry more about money than the lives of their people.
So like I said again, police brutality, nah. I'm not going to compare police brutality to economics. It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. See, if we're going to be honest, if we're going to be really honest, the biggest threat against the black man in America are other black men in America. And I'm not saying that to be a jerk or to sound like to be a grifter or anything like that. The numbers pretty much prove what I'm saying is correct. Over 110,000 black men have killed each other since 2013. 110,000 since 2013. That averages to about 10 to 11,000 people per year. Black on black crimes. Now, about 20,000 people per year on average are murdered in the United States. And we commit more than half of those murders against each other. And he talking about 5 niggas on death row? Nigga, please, man. Trump 2024.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him.
Nigga, please.
Are you the greatest? You know what I'm talking about?
Nigga, please. What else we got here? All right, let's get to this next clip. This is Umar Johnson on the Supreme Court of the United States. All right, Umar Johnson on the Supreme Court of the United States. Let's get to it.
The Supreme Court is corrupt.
Yes.
Illegitimate.
Absolutely.
How come enough people not talking about that?
Because I don't think they understand the tripartite nature of American so-called democracy. Mm-hmm. The Supreme Court, the president, and the Congress, they actually have equal weight, right? Well, they did. But now what the Supreme Court just did was they gave the president a few days ago absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for decisions made in office in carrying out his constitutionally protected duties. That's very dangerous, because what that says is the president can never go to jail even if he commits genocide if it was done in an act of office. So let's say hypothetically Donald Trump or Joe Biden sends the National Guard into New York to quell a black protest, and the National Guard, God forbid, ends up executing 5,000 of our brothers and sisters who were protesting peacefully. Even though it was ordered by the president of the United States, he cannot be held accountable for that. Why? Because he did it in discharging his duties as commander-in-chief. So we don't no longer have a president. We have an emperor. We have a czar. We have a king. Because what the Supreme Court just did is said the president is beyond reproach and the president is beyond the reach of the law. Dangerous.
Yeah, and I feel like enough people aren't having that conversation.
They're not having that conversation.
It's weird to me. Like, I understand, talking about Biden and his bad debate performance.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I even understand talking about Project 2025, even though
Yes.
it's a hypothetical. But this
Yes.
is happening now.
Yes.
And nobody's
Yes.
having the conversation.
And for black folks, it don't matter if it's Trump or Biden. The bottom line is the president of the United States, none of whom have ever been friends of the black community, will have the ability to do what they want as long as it takes place within the execution of duty. They cannot be held criminally liable. Now, here's my thing. I wonder what are the repercussions of that on the world court when you're dealing with genocide in the Geneva Convention. So are you saying that the president of the United States cannot be held criminally responsible for crimes of genocide against humanity? That goes against the whole Geneva Convention. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering what the UN and what the World Court has to say about the Supreme Court's decision.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know what planet this Negro has been living on for the past 200 years. Okay? But anyways, first of all, if you haven't done it already, take a few hours out of your day to actually read the Constitution. Then watch the goddamn History Channel and look up some of the things that the former presidents of the United States have actually gotten away with. Clearly, you niggas never heard of Hiroshima. Clearly, you don't know how the Vietnam War started. Hell, look at the war in Iraq. That war started based on complete and utter lies. Hundreds of thousands of people killed. And no one held the president responsible. Why? Because presidents been had immunity. This isn't no new shit. The only reason that this is even an issue is because the Democrats tried to use the law to take down a political opponent, and it didn't work. Why? Because the Supreme Court did their damn jobs and upheld the Constitution. You know how much foul shit U.S. presidents have gotten away with over the years? That's the reason George W. Bush could tell a bold-faced lie about the Iraq War and nothing be done about it. That's why Harry Truman could drop an atomic bomb on Japan and kill hundreds and thousands of innocent men, women, and children and nothing be done about it. And this nigga talking about the World Court. We run the World Court. We run the Geneva Convention. That's why I say Umar Johnson is not a serious person. He is not a serious person. He is a pro-black Marxist grifter. Just like BLM, he's stealing your money. Excuse me. He's stealing your money under the guise of black liberation, even though we're already free. We've been free since 1865. So make it make sense. But anyway, let's get to the next clip. This will be the last clip. And after we discuss this, I do want to take some calls. So here we have it. This is Umar Johnson on Kendrick Lamar and Drake. All right. All right, damn.
Kendrick Lamar versus Drake.
I like Kendrick. And when he brought those brothers together without any violence, I thought it was beautiful. Shout out to Kendrick. But Kendrick.
Okay, I gotta stop right there. All right. So the same guy who claims to be pro-black and ready to save the community thinks it's a positive thing for Kendrick Lamar to parade a bunch of gang members around on stage. And get this, he thinks they should be commended for being civil human beings and not murdering each other on sight. The bar is extremely low. The bar is low. Let's continue.
I need you to keep that same energy when it's time to fight against gentrification in Los Angeles, because black people are being displaced in extreme numbers in Los Angeles, Compton, South Central, Long Beach, all in that area. So don't just bring out people together to party and to support your beef with Drake. Bring them together to protest, to march, and to organize against gentrification, because there is a Mexican bourgeoisie,
all right,
white bourgeoisie.
Let me stop right here. And real quick, just for my man that wanted to know earlier, we here for it. The link is in the chat. It's pinned to the top. The link is in the chat. It's pinned to the top. We'll get to calls shortly. Now, back to what Umar was saying. Help me out here. How exactly does one organize against gentrification? Now, honestly, if I'm a black homeowner in Los Angeles, I'm 100% with gentrification. Ain't nothing personal. It's just business. But seriously, niggas drive down their own property value by not cutting their damn grass, littering, robbing, carjacking, and killing each other, then wonder why don't nobody want you around. It is what it is. Your actions come with consequences. Ironically, it's those same niggas, the Bloods and the Crips, who Umar was so happy to see parading around the stage with Kendrick. They are the ones that are fueling the need for gentrification. If black folks were known to inhabit peaceful, thriving communities, gentrification wouldn't even be a thing. But to the topic, there is no protesting gentrification. That's some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard Umar say. But once again, that's his thing. Creating an invisible white boogeyman to pontificate about all day on the internet while nothing gets done and he gets rich off your donations.
Click in LA that is working together against black people. I'm gonna say it, the Mexicans and the Caucasians, not as a group, but their elites and their leaders are clicking up and working against black people in Los Angeles County and surrounding areas to push us out the neighborhood. Black incarceration rates in California are some of the highest in the country. Kendrick Lamar, why don't we organize against that? We see, organize to hire some of our young people, organize to build a school, organize to build a hospital. I like what he did, but don't tell me you only did that to celebrate the beef. You understand? Use those brothers, bring them back together and achieve something systematically to help our people out. Same thing go for Drake. You in Canada. Black people in Canada struggling. I got a lot of supporters in Canada. We talk all the time. I'll be going to Canada next month or maybe 3 months from now. But nonetheless, they're catching the same hell: miseducation, mass incarceration, gentrification, police genocide, economic apartheid. Drake, are you thinking about building a school? Drake, are you going to open up a supermarket? Drake, are you going to open up a farm and teach these young kids how to farm? Same thing for Kendrick Lamar.
Nigga, where's your school? He gonna ask Drake, where's Drake's school? Nigga, where's your school? You've been collecting donations for this school for 11 years. Where's your school? Man, this shit is crazy, man. Who's this guy? C. Somebody named C says, no wonder only 11 people are watching. I could care less about that. I'm still building this channel. I mean, I've got, 1,500 subscribers. No big deal. I'll get there. You're watching. You don't have to. You can log off. Or if you disagree, you can hit the link and we can talk about it after the commercial break. James Dean says, Umar is straight lying to the people about FDMG. Those buildings are still on the vacant property list for unpaid back taxes. Those buildings still need major repairs and renovations, and Umar knows it. Facts. The stream, and James Dean, the stream I just did the other day, I talked about that. So earlier this year, he said he was opening up this August. So he does a stream the other day. He does a Instagram live the other day where he talks for 33 minutes about how the white man's getting ready to shut everything down and screw all of us over, right? So he says that just to say, we need to start, can anybody help me build crops? We need to build crops on the school property. And until we get the crops going, I can't open a school. So it'll open up next August. That's his new excuse for not opening up the school, because they don't have crops. Whole time, it's probably what you just said about the back paid taxes and the building still being on the vacant list. But he's still getting y'all money, though. He's still getting y'all money. 10 straight years, no school. 10 straight years, no school. Says Umar is playing the OG finesse game. Exactly. But seriously though, man. Now, Y'all know I'm rolling with Drake against Kendrick. You know, the whole Kendrick beef, I was rolling with Drake. But to K-Dot's defense, and to Drake's defense, he don't owe, or they don't owe niggas no school. They aren't certified school psychologists who out here claiming that they have the keys to fix all black folks' problems. Umar, you are. Them niggas don't owe us nothing but music. It's crazy to me how niggas expect celebrities and entertainers and artists and athletes to save the goddamn community. They aren't meant to be intellectuals. They're court jesters at best. They're here for our mindless entertainment. So how Umar Johnson expects them to fix anything, I don't know. Let's continue.
Y'all got the money to do it. I'm not pocket watching, but don't bring those people together just to party. You got to bring us together to do something, because what you're doing is you're playing on people's emotions. Black people see Crips and Bloods coming together. Shout out to both of them. Piecing it up.
Again, it's crazy. You're shouting out the Bloods and the Crips, but you're pro-black and all that. But you shout out two of the deadliest groups of people, or two of the most detrimental groups of people to black society ever. And why? Because it's not really about really fixing the problems in the black community. It's a grift to get your money. 95% of these pro-black niggas on the internet are grifting to you to get your money. They're grifting to you.
Working together, enjoying themselves with Kendrick, that was good. We need the social. We need a break. We need a release. But brother, we also need political progress. We also need economic structure. We also need social progress. So don't just limit it to that. Take it to the next level.
Kendrick Lamar.
So yeah, like I said, man, I disagree with that take. Even though K-Dot pretends to be on that Umar shit, it's not his job nor his responsibility to take on that role. Okay? Kendrick needs to do what's best for his family. And if the everyday average Negro actually did what was best for their families instead of themselves, the community would be in a lot better shape. That's my opinion. What do I know? I'd like to hear what you guys think. So I've already left the link to call in the chat below. We'll do a quick commercial break. Allow a few people to get in queue, if anyone gets in queue at all. And we'll come back. If we have any calls, we'll take them. If not, we'll shut it down. All right, we'll be right back.
Yeah, my son so dumb, my son so dumb. Yeah. My son so dumb, IQ 21. He tried to make friends, but they call him Ching Chong. He eat the wonton, but he fat like Kim Jong. He's so ugly when he smile, he look like the King Kong. My son useless, can't play ping pong. He tried to get a date with the girl so young, but she said hell no, cause he not that handsome. And my son so broke, can't buy the dim sum. Yeah. My son so dumb, my son so dumb. Yeah. My son is so dumb, yeah. He texts Mingly, but she pick me. Too bad he broke, can't buy the milk tea. If he talk back to me, then he get his ass beat. Cause if you try me, then I do the Tai Chi. Just listen to your mommy and go eat the kimchi, or I sell your kidney for $2.50. Do not think I forgot you got being Chinese. Ancestor look down on you, go say sorry. Yeah. My son so dumb, my son so dumb. Yeah. My son is so dumb, yeah. My son so dumb, IQ 21.
Violent crime is surging in Louisiana. Woke leaders blame the police. I blame the criminals. A mom should not have to look over her shoulder when she's pumping gas. I voted against the early release of violent criminals, and I opposed defunding the police. Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead. I'm John Kennedy, and I approve this message.
full of life. Nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better. Mentos fresh and fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
It doesn't matter what comes. Fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better. Mentos fresh and fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back from that commercial break. Now, I don't see this gentleman named We Here For It. He says, he told me to send the link. The link is in the chat, pinned to the top. He says he disagreed with what I had to say. He didn't hit the link. It is what it is. Going once, going twice. I'll give this nigga 30 seconds, man. If he don't hit the link, we can shut this thing down. And I know he ain't gonna hit the link because it really ain't no argument with what I'm saying. Everything I'm saying is logical. It's not emotional. It's not about how I feel. See, James Dean says, Umar's next play is taking the state of Delaware to court to protest for not receiving his certificate of occupancy to prolong this game. I agree. It's definitely probably what's going to happen. And I cover Umar a lot because I just find this guy so ridiculous. To me, it baffles me how many people actually take him seriously. But yeah. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, listen, whether you agree, you disagree, or you're indifferent, do me a favor. If you're watching on the playback, leave a comment in the comment section below. Also, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell, and select all for myself and the rest of the crew here at Trippin Ain't Easy TV. Peace out. Catch you on the next one.
really on fire. Popping up the grease and I'm peppermint. Hey, DJ, money back up. Cause amigo, she don't know how to act up. Asian, white, Latino, and black up. It's only one thing to do on this track. Hey, DJ, money back up. Cause amigo, she don't know how to